ABC 10 News at 7 starts now.
Officials are lifting evacuation orders tonight as crews continue to battle a 3,500-acre fire between Camp Pendleton and Fallbrook. Heavy Santa Ana winds have been fanning the flames in an open space around Duluth Road and Sandia Creek Drive. Good evening and Merry Christmas Eve. I'm Derek Stahl.
And I'm Jennifer Dela Cruz. Kim and Steve are off tonight. Cal Fire just announced the fire is now 35% contained and no structures have been burned so far. Jennifer Kastner begins our team coverage with dramatic video of the flames tearing across a hillside.
The USO San Diego has been on site all day supporting the military families that were forced to flee their homes on base on Christmas Eve day. Thousands of acres burning overnight into Christmas Eve as the creek fire ripped through parts of North County, prompting widespread evacuations throughout Fallbrook and Camp Pendleton and forcing SDG&E to pull the power in high-risk areas. Thursday afternoon, the San Diego Sheriff's Department released video of its aerial attack, reporting its chopper made nearly 40 drops since after dawn. Sky 10 overhead Thursday afternoon getting images of the latest on the ground. As of about 10 a.m. Thursday, fire officials said there was 0% containment, after previously stating it was 35% contained. Hundreds of firefighters have been battling the flames since they broke out just after 11 p.m. Wednesday near Duluth Road. Rough conditions proving challenging to fight.
It was fueled by steep terrain, difficult access, and winds.
Ryan Rushing, division chief with Camp Pendleton Fire, said just after midnight, evacuations were ordered for people living on the Marine Corps base at O'Neill Heights Housing and Campground and Duluth Family Housing. 7,000 people on the west side of Fallbrook were placed under mandatory evacuations in the early morning hours. Power was shut off overnight for 2,500 SDG&E customers, affecting parts of Alpine, Campo, Descanso, El Cajon, Potrero, and the Sequan Reservation. Another 31,000 customers were put on standby. A red flag warning was in effect until noon Thursday after it was issued Wednesday morning. Cal Fire says this is our 12th Santa Ana wind event this season, which is high, leaving conditions very dry and very dangerous. Jennifer Kastner, ABC 10 News.
Evacuation orders have been lifted for the thousands of people forced to leave their homes overnight. As ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala shows us, people grabbed what they could and then waited to see what would happen next.
It's amazing how life changed in 1 minute.
During an already difficult year, the creek fire quickly spread overnight in Fallbrook and Camp Pendleton, forcing families out of their homes on Christmas Eve.
So the first thing we kind of do is going to look for something valuable and start loading up.
Bob lives on Shady Lane in Fallbrook and says he was notified of the fire by a neighbor just after 11 p.m. Wednesday. He looked outside and saw the wind pushing the flames. He says he quickly started loading up some important belongings and pretty much anything he could grab in the middle of the night.
My little exercise. Oh, you tell you the truth, you see so many fires around here. California, it's kind of part of our life.
A total of 7,000 residents were told to flee their homes. Sheriff's deputies went door to door warning people on Patton Oaks Road, Shady Lane, Darla Lane, and part of Main Avenue to get out. At Camp Pendleton, evacuations were ordered at Duluth Housing, O'Neill Heights Housing, and Lake O'Neill Campground.
While the Duluth housing area, neither one of the housing areas is threatened right now, out of an abundance of caution. In other words, we don't know what the winds are going to do. We don't want to put folks in wind shifts, and then we've got really bad problems.
At 2 a.m., the Red Cross set up a temporary evacuation center at Fallbrook High, providing snacks, services, and information to those impacted. But because of COVID-19, people were set up in hotels instead of congregating inside of the school.
We've had over 120 individuals that are in the evacuation zone seek out some hotel rooms.
In response to the fire, USO San Diego jumped in to provide impacted military families at Camp Pendleton with food, water, and supplies on base. Many of the mandatory evacuation orders were downgraded to warnings this afternoon, and by 5 p.m., all of the evacuations south of Duluth Road were lifted. Thankfully, no homes were damaged, no one was injured, and hopefully everyone will be back home in time for Christmas. Reporting in Fallbrook, Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
And one of the things helping firefighters in this firefight, of course, are rain that moved throughout the county throughout the day. Winds have also started to diminish, so good news there. The red flag warning shut off right around noon. Right now it's 61 degrees in the Fallbrook area. Humidity is improving as well. Winds gusting right now at 21 miles per hour, but we still have that offshore flow in places like Julian, Alpine, 10-mile-per-hour winds right now in Mount Laguna. At the coast, we're starting to see those winds dying down as well. And that cooler air pushing in. Now winds turning to come out of the west with a band of rain that came through the county for portions of our coastal areas, our inland valleys, and our deserts. So a lot of areas getting just some light sprinkles, mostly dry throughout the county right now, but we do have another round of rain on the way. I'm breaking that down coming up in your 7-day forecast.
Turning now to coronavirus, the county reported another 2,200 cases today, bringing our total to nearly 137,000. There were also 32 new deaths, bringing that total to 1,382. Well, Christmas is a time many go to church to worship, but this year looks a little different under the pandemic. ABC 10 News reporter Cassie Carlisle says parishioners, though, are not losing their faith.
Yeah, out here at All Souls Episcopal Church, you can see that services are underway this Christmas Eve. Everyone is required to wear a mask and socially distance. Earlier today, they had about 60 people for their children's pageant. That's usually their highest attended service, so very, very different this year. Services meaning so much more during a very trying time. Now, down in Chula Vista, South Bay Pentecostal Church has been wrapped up in lawsuits since May, trying to get approval to hold service indoors. They were denied again this week, even though New York places of worship won in a Supreme Court ruling last month, and Los Angeles changed their health code days ago to allow indoor services due to a request by the Supreme Court. Here at All Souls, parishioners told me it doesn't matter if they're inside, just that they're together.
Life is everywhere, and God is everywhere if you believe in God. It's not about being in a room, not that it's not an absolutely beautiful room, but it's just that we can get together.
They hope next year is better, and they hope that next year they can be inside for their Christmas services. Reporting in front of the church, Cassie Carlisle, ABC 10 News.
And the pandemic, of course, is having a big impact on holiday shopping. We found smaller crowds than usual at the malls today. One man drove all the way down from Escondido just to get his girlfriend a gift that was only at the Nordstrom UTC.
I feel like it might not be as busy due to people not wanting to go out and be in public with everything going on right now.
Got to get to Nordstrom. I know the feeling. Across the county at Grossmont Center, Target and See's Candies had a lot of last-minute shoppers, but overall it was a much less crowded day than usual.
Well, despite pleas from health agencies to stay home during the holidays, millions of Americans are taking to the skies. ABC 10 News reporter Rena Nakano shows us the steps one family is taking to be safe, even as they gather together in San Diego.
Stop the spread of germs.
A crowded airport and long-awaited hugs. Exactly what health officials didn't want to see this holiday season.
People apparently want to travel in spite of COVID.
Whether it's to see an elderly family member, to not break tradition, or to make up for lost time.
They had to cancel Thanksgiving. They were coming home.
Yeah.
And we didn't see them then, so we wanted to see them now.
Health officials have been warning for weeks that Christmas travel is like a super spreader of the COVID-19 virus. Gatherings will definitely cause a surge in the already short-staffed hospital systems, and that the death toll will rise. But even with the most dire public health warnings, the TSA says around 1 million people have gone through their checkpoints every day since December 18th. Jan and David Miller flew into San Diego International Airport from Ohio Thursday.
I had concern probably greater than my wife that flying perhaps wasn't a safe choice. However, my wife said I'd be living with a very depressed wife if we did not come to see our children in California.
A guilt trip turned Christmas trip, but the Millers say they are taking serious precautions.
One son said he thought maybe it'd be safest to quarantine some and spend time apart from them in a separate location. So we're doing that with an Airbnb at a separate location for the first period of time.
A little time away first, so that the rest of the time they can enjoy all that San Diego has to offer together.
We're excited. The weather's a little bit more cloudy than we're used to in San Diego, but obviously warmer than Ohio where it's snowing right now.
Rena Nakano, ABC 10 News.